Welcome back to episode 3 of No Money, No Prospects, the podcast where I talk and nobody listens. This week, I really want to talk about the Ren Fair. I am going to the Ren Fair for the first time this season tomorrow, and I'm very excited. As you can see, I am in costume. I was trying out all the different pieces, making sure it all works. Kind of a risky gamble to leave that for the last second. We are leaving tomorrow morning, but you know, it is what it is. It does work. Everything is all fine. I'm very excited. Um, but yeah, the Ren Fair. I love the Ren Fair. This will be my third year going. Um, it is just such a positive experience every year. Consistently, it just delivers on that childlike wonder and the magic of being in a place where everybody is being themselves and everyone else is cheering them on, you know? Um, I live in Oklahoma, and here we have a really big Ren Fair up in Muskogee, which is in northeastern Oklahoma. I don't know. I'm not great with directions, but um, the Castle of Muskogee is what it's called. They do Ren Fair. They do a Halloween event. I think they do like a Christmas and a 4th of July maybe. I usually just go for Ren Fair and the Halloween. But they've built this entire little town with like storefronts and vendor booths and, food places and stages for performers. And it really feels like stepping into a different time period. Um, and the costumes. My God, you guys, the costumes are so great every year. Like, it is wild to see what some of the people are able to put together for costuming. I am always so, like, amazed and, like, envious and just consistently impressed with everything about Ren Fair. I was super into, like, Magic Tree House as a kid, and like Morgan Le Fay was like one of the things, and they kind of talked about like magic and like fantasy and all of these different they talked about magic as Magic Tree House. And they talked about all those things, and um I've always loved like Lord of the Rings and just all sorts of fantasy and like whimsical things. So the Ren Fair, I should have known that I would be super into it. But I didn't actually go to my first Ren Fair until I was probably like 23 or something like that. It took me a long time. I didn't even realize they had one in Muskogee. I know there's like a couple of other ones they do across the state, but like I guess I just never like thought to actually do it. But one of my coworkers asked me to go one year, and I was like, okay. Like, at the time, I feel like I'd seen like depictions maybe of it, and it looked kind of fun, like, in movies and TV shows and stuff. Um, all I could ever think about was the Weird Al song where he says, got spend every weekend at the Renaissance Fair, got my name on my underwear. White and Nerdy by Weird Al. So I hadn't really gone. Coworker asked me to go, and I had the best time. Um, and yeah, I've gone every year since. So again, this is the first year that I'm actually like fully committed to a costume. The first year I went, just more normal clothes. Last year I was like halfway into a costume. I had this leftover black dress for Halloween that I used as like a witch's costume. And for Ren Fair, I paired it with just some black leggings and black combat boots. It's a really pretty dress. It has these like beautiful long sleeves that like just kind of flow out, and it was a really cute dress. Not the best idea to wear all black in the first week of June in Oklahoma. You know, it's not my smartest decision. But this year I finally bit the bullet and just bought a costume. I think every year I kind of had these like grand ambitions of creating my own costume, but I'm not a seamstress. I don't sew. I don't read patterns. I'm not a very skilled cosplayer of any sort. Um, but at the year 3 mark, I'm like, well, it's probably a worthy investment to just go ahead and get a costume. So I'm currently in my little green overdress and my blouse from Holy Clothing. Shout out Holy Clothing. Sponsor me. No, just kidding. But super good quality, I have to say. I was a little nervous and a little hesitant to order anything online because I am a plus sized lady and it is so hit and miss trying to find clothes that fit, especially ordering online, because I feel like sometimes you can even just take your measurements and like the measurements don't seem accurate. You know, when you get the clothing in, you're like, now hold on. I measured. This should fit. And it just doesn't. And I knew there was going to be like kind of a longish turnaround time. I think it took about 5 to 6 weeks for all of my different items to come in, because I ordered this shirt, this overdress. I have on a purple skirt. It's super flowy, beautiful, amazing. The overdress and the skirt both have pockets, which is out of this world. Like, I love that. I love that it has pockets because I'm a pockets girly. I need pockets because I'm always carrying all my trinkets. So, yeah, it took about 5 to 6 weeks for everything to get here, but like, it's really good quality. And it all fits amazing. You know, that is like the highest. That's the most I could ask for out of anything. It's just that it all fit, and it does. So that's awesome. Yeah, I got all this from Holy Clothing, and then I have kind of assembled a little set of accessories. So this necklace is like a little blackberry. My earrings are little like butterfly, dragonfly, probably I guess butterfly wings. They're like purple with little gold flecks in them. Super cute. Shout out to ResinJewelrybyNina on Etsy. I ordered quite a bit of stuff from her shop because it's just all amazing. It's so cute, so precious. This necklace is like a real highlight. I just love the little blackberry. It's got a little flower and a little leaf on it. I'm not sure how well you can see. Probably not well. It's pretty small, but it's perfect. It matches the purple skirt. And she was so kind as to send a free pair of earrings. Amazing. I did get these in purple and green. She sent me a pair that's also like black and clear. They're also so pretty. So thank you so much, ResinJewelrybyNina on Instagram. Highly recommend. Shout out. I also got a belt to go with my costume. So this is a faux leather belt. It's reversible. I don't know that it's meant to be reversible, but it's black on one side, brown on the other. And to go on the belt, I have this nice little pouch. Whoops. This little pouch. I did add the little moon charm on there. I just thought that was so precious. But this pouch is like a perfect size for like my phone and my wallet and my keys, like everything I'm going to need to bring with me. So both of these, the belt and the pouch, are from FrenchMeadows on Etsy. Again, highly recommend. This belt is actually amazing because it's got this little like loop ring thing. And so there's no holes. Like I didn't have to worry about like sizing myself for a belt. Again, it always comes back to sizing. I feel like I struggle so much with sizing because it's so different from everything, like every brand and every place that you can buy clothing and stuff. But because there's no like holes and no like fastener to it, I can adjust it to any size I want. And it like this little end part here just hangs down. Adds a really nice touch to my costume. So again, shout out FrenchMeadows on Etsy. Amazing work. This belt was actually, what do they say? It's like not damaged, but just kind of like not like in some way just not the highest quality or something. It was their like sale option as like half off the price of like what they normally are if they're like in perfect condition. And I kind of took a little bit of a gamble because I was going to just go ahead and buy like a new one that was in like, you know, what the seller considers to be good condition. But I was like, well, for half the price, like it might be worth it. So I ordered it. And when I say that like I can't find a single flaw with this belt, I don't know what caused it to be listed as like a reject, but I mean, it's perfect. Again, I don't have any negative things to say about it. It is such a good investment. I feel like it's going to be able to work with multiple costumes. So yeah, amazing. Great quality. And then my last thing that I got for the belt is this little fan holster, which is super neat. It came with this little wooden fan. Super great. The Renaissance Fair is always hot because it's outdoors. We're in Oklahoma. It's storm season, and then by the end of Ren Fair, it's like beginning of summer. And so it is hot, it's humid, it's dusty, it's gross. It can get gross, especially when you're wearing like costume pieces that are like a little bit, you know, not as breathable compared to your normal clothes. So last year when I was wearing the all black outfit that I was talking about earlier, I was so overheated that like we went to the gift shop and I literally bought a fan because I was like, this is the best it's gonna get. So this year I'm coming prepared. I have my fan holster. I got this from PoptartEmporium on Etsy. So shout out to Etsy, really coming through the Etsy creators. Y'all really pulled it together for me this year. I really appreciate it. High quality items all the way around. Love that. I am so excited to be able to wear it, put it all together tomorrow. The other thing that I've been trying to put together for my costume, I said earlier I'm not a seamstress. I'm not like super great. I always have these delusions that I'm gonna be able to like pull something together last minute costume wise. And this time it maybe actually worked out. I was trying really hard this year since I am going like ham with the costume to come up with like a character name and like a persona to kind of just like embody while I'm at the Renaissance Fair. And like for the same reason I'm not really great at playing D&D, I can't think of like a backstory or like a character name or anything. But I did kind of come to the conclusion that like I'm kind of dressed like just like a villager, like an NPC. and, but like the rough idea is like this is a girl who like forages and goes out in the forest and is one with nature and really in touch with the world around her. Hence like the nature elements of like costume theming. But as a character that is doing things like that, I thought, you know what might be cute is like if she's out in the forest, she's out here doing all this stuff, she's probably gathering like ingredients for like, you know, poultices or concoctions or potions or whatever. So one of the things I did manage to throw together on my own is these little tiny bottles of just different like little ingredient stuff. So like we'll see if I can get the camera to focus on it. This is like little like glass pieces. They're like blue and shiny. So we've got some stuff like that. We've got some little like moss and flower type things. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get any of these to come into focus. But we've got some little like shiny metal ones. Just like little cute tiny bottles. This one's one of my favorites. It is like metal leaf, like gold leaf stuff in this little tiny bottle. It kind of looks like fire in a bottle to me. I love that. That's precious. But yeah, I made just a ton of these little tiny display bottles. And I'm going to put them on some chain to loop onto my belt. And have it be kind of like a traveling apothecary kit. I got so excited about this that I made all of my friends little tiny bottles too. Because it was just really fun. It was really easy. I did make a huge mess. I used a lot of like dried flower pieces, and those apparently crumble really easily. Don't know why I wouldn't have guessed that. Also, if you're making a DIY paper funnel to funnel little like glass pieces into small jars, definitely tape it. Just a word of advice for if anyone tries this at home. Because I definitely still have just like little pieces of glass all over my desk. So that's great. I need to get out my little tiny vacuum and take care of that. But I'm super excited to have been able to put together a costume this year. My shoes are not going to be period appropriate. I'm wearing knockoff Hey Dudes because the shoes that I thought I was going to wear, I don't know. They didn't feel right whenever I put them with the costume. And honestly, like none of the shoes that I own are like Renaissance-y in any sense. Oh my goodness. So if I can't have the look, I'm going to go for comfort above all else. So I'm going to wear my Hey Dude knockoff shoes. My skirts are long enough. I don't think anyone will really notice, but either way, it's going to be great. I am super excited because this year we are going to a performance thing that I've never been to. It's like a ticketed side event at Ren Faire called King Smoker. And it is like a comedy music show thing. And you get like a drink and a cigar and a pin. So I'm super excited about that. I've never done it, so it'll be an interesting experience. Things I'm looking forward to specifically this year, I am going to eat the food. The first year that I went, I did not eat anything, even though like everything it smells amazing. Like there are so many different like food vendors that like, you know, there's obviously like turkey legs and stuff like people associate with Ren Faire, like meat and all of those things. But then there's like these giant baked potatoes, and there was like a mac and cheese place one year. Barbecue, you know, we're like kind of in the South-ish. So barbecue, like there's just all these different things. And I've never tried any of it. The first year there was like a weird series of events that led to me not getting anything. And then the second year, the person that I went with didn't want to eat anything, so we didn't stop anywhere. And I'm apparently too passive of a person to say like, hey, I'm hungry, like I'm gonna go get food, doesn't matter if you are or not. So this year I'm going to eat the food. I'm gonna try mead for the first time. If I can find it, I'm gonna try it, because I feel like that's like a quintessential Renaissance Fair thing. Like you have to try the mead, you have to have a turkey leg, and I've never done that, so we're gonna hopefully have that experience. This year I do kind of want to like look closer at the different like vendors and maybe buy some stuff. Every year I kind of like peruse. The first year I bought a flower crown, so that was very cool. Maybe I can find a different one this year that like goes with this costume. So that's the plan, that's the idea, and the hopes. I will definitely probably be talking more about the Ren Faire next week in next week's episode, because I will have already been, and I will have like a review of sorts of this year, and then I am planning to go a second time later in the season with a different friend. So lots of Ren Faire this year, very excited. again, I just love it. Like, I love being able to step back in time, hypothetically. You know, it's, I love being able to like go into a space where everyone is just kind of having a good time and is just happy to be there. So I'm very excited. In other news this week, I went to the laundromat for the first time. Mm-hmm. Yep. I feel like it's like kind of a privileged thing to say. Like, I'd never have needed to go to the laundromat before. Fortunately, growing up, like, my parents always had like washer and dryer in the house. And even like where I live currently, like, there's a laundry area on site, but their washers and dryers are not great, and I hate doing laundry. So I've been kind of just like washing the same set of clothes that I wear every week. And then everything else that like gets worn and like gets dirty just kind of like disappears into the closet. Um, yeah. So I'm like way behind on laundry. At one point I did pull everything out and sort it into laundry bags. And when I tell you that there's probably a good like 10 to 15 loads that needs to get washed, it's bad, y'all. It is really bad. And I know that. And so for like a while I've been like, I should just go down to the laundromat and just do a bunch of it. Um, because they've got like the big industrial washers. And like, I'm the type of person that if I don't know what the situation is before I walk into it, like, I won't go. So for a while I've been kind of trying to like plan out to like go with somebody who like knows what they're doing. Even though it's like not that difficult to like figure out a laundromat, but like that anxiety goes crazy. So um earlier this week a friend of mine was talking about how she was going to go to the laundromat and do a bunch of laundry, and I was like, wait, I'll go too. So I packed up all my stuff and grabbed my bags of quarters and went to the laundromat, and it was such a calming experience. Honestly, like, for as much anxiety as I had about going to the laundromat, being at the laundromat and like doing my laundry was great. Honestly, like, it smelled so clean and fresh. Like, it was very like bright and like uh just like clean. And it was relaxing. Everyone's there doing the same thing. Like, we're all there for the same reason. You've got like the sounds of like quarters in the machines and the change machine and like all of this different stuff, and I was just like in heaven. I like to believe that everyone kind of gets their own personal version of heaven after they die. Mine very well might be the laundromat. And like, again, I don't like doing laundry. Like, laundry is right up there with dishes on like my least favorite chores to do. But like, I just felt so peaceful in that place that yeah, I loved it. Good thing too, because I will definitely be having to make multiple trips to wash all of the stuff that I need to wash. And yeah, I have been working on that, just kind of going through all my stuff. I need to go through and like donate a bunch of things. I have a lot of clothes from when I was in college, and I've put on like a significant amount of weight. COVID was not kind. And I was not kind to myself when it came time to take care of myself. I put on a lot of weight, so a lot of my clothes just don't fit. And I need to just be honest with myself and let them go. So the plan is kind of to just go through and like every week do a couple loads down at the laundromat, and then go through them as I'm like putting it away and donate a significant amount, because I have way too many clothes for one person. And like, they're heavy. I don't want to do more laundry than I need to, and I don't want to like carry all of that if I eventually move out of the place I'm at now. So if I start now, maybe we'll be fine when we reach that point. I don't know. This is planning like really far ahead. That's not usually like par for the course for me. So, but yeah, highly recommend the laundromat. At least the one I went to. I feel like this episode has become like just recommendations. And you know what? That's okay. Because I don't know what I'm doing here. So we're just rolling with it. In other personal stuff, I guess, I did manage to take myself grocery shopping this week. We did it. Grocery shopping is another thing that I struggle with. I struggle with like making a list and making a plan and going to the store and not looking at every single thing in there. I feel like a rat in a maze. Like even when I have a list going to the grocery store, I feel like I walk in and immediately forget everything that I was supposed to get or forget to look at the list because there's just so much to look at. And like I want to go down every aisle. But then doing that is so overwhelming to me. It's like I stress myself out being in the grocery store. And like also there's so many other people like in there at the same time, and like I don't want to like be in anyone's way or like, you know, ask anyone to move or anything like that. So like the whole experience of grocery shopping, it always takes like 2 hours. And I almost always get home and I'm missing half of the things I was supposed to get, and then I'm like, well, now I gotta go back and do the whole process over again. And so I put it off for way too long. Like we got to the point where I was just eating like saltines, and I was like, yeah, this is a meal. And it's like, girl, if you don't get yourself and go grocery shopping. So I did. I sat down, I made a list of quick and easy meals that I can make throughout the week and made a list of all the ingredients, and I went grocery shopping. Again, I feel like this should not be like a difficult thing to do. And I'm just constantly questioning who let me be an adult. Maybe that's a good theme for this week. Who let me be an adult? Because I don't think I was ready. I don't know that anyone ever thinks that they're ready to be an adult, other than like teenagers who don't don't know what it means to be an adult. But yeah, we're working on it. That's my personal development for this week. I managed to do some laundry and I went grocery shopping and I actually cooked at home. Amazing. It's small progress, but it's progress. So that was great. Very proud of myself there. Work was really rough this week. I mean, I feel like I say that all the time. I don't know that I ever have like a week at work where I'm just like, yeah, everything was fine. Like everything went great. No, there's always something. I just feel like I'm just not being as productive as I need to be, and I'm not getting things done the way I'm used to doing them. And like I've been in kind of like a phase of burnout for a while. Like if we're being honest, probably a good chunk of my job has been me trying to not just give up every time things get hard. And when you work in a job where things are just kind of constantly hard, there's a lot of, I feel like you burn out fast and you just kind of like learn to trudge through it. But this week was particularly rough. I had a meeting with my supervisor, manager person, and it was a great meeting. It was fine. Like there was no like negative aspect to it, but I was just kind of like talking with her about some of the challenges that I've been having this week, and I started crying in our meeting, and I hate crying in front of other people. Like I will literally sit there and just like pretend like I'm not crying, which of course is like impossible. Because I'll start like choking and like just frantically wiping at my eyes, and like my voice starts like doing that thing. And so like it's really obvious to tell when I'm crying even over a Teams meeting. But I cried. It was not great. The situation I stressed myself out over ended up being fine. All this hysterics for a hypothetical that didn't even happen. So, I feel like that didn't really help with my feelings of like, I guess, insecurity about my job performance and my efficiency as an employee. But it's fine. It's whatever. We're to the weekend now. It's all good. Um, pick back up again on Monday. Start over. Um, what else happened this week? Oh, something really nice actually happened yesterday. I got a follow request on Instagram, and I went and looked, and I was like, who is this? And I clicked on it, and it was a friend from high school that I haven't talked to in probably 8 or 9 years. Like, it's been, I think we stopped talking junior or senior year of high school, which is wild to think that that's been almost 10 years. It's like 10 years feels like too long and also not long enough. Like, I don't know how to describe that. Time has no meaning after COVID. I have no frame of reference for like what is a lot of time and what isn't. But yeah, no, I saw that it was this friend that I hadn't talked to in forever, and so I accepted the follow request, followed her back, and she messaged me, and she was just like, "Hey, I know we lost touch over the years. Like, I'd love to catch up. How are things going?" Well, the honest answer to that question is barely. They're barely going. Things are not good. But, you never want to like dump that first thing. So I was like, things are fine. Like, how are you? Oh my goodness. I was so glad she reached out. I told her, I was like, I think about you all the time, which is true. I think a lot about like how things ended, because like I don't specifically remember. I have to imagine it was probably me being a little bit of a jerk. Because it was high school and we were all kind of going through our own things, and that was when my own mental health started to get really, really bad. And so I think sometimes when you're at that age and everyone is kind of going through it, it's like, shut up, shut up. I need space to have my own pity party. I can't be like helping you with yours every week. I felt that way with a lot of people in high school. um, and it was really, really jerky of me, but I feel like, again, that's probably something that a lot of people experienced in high school. But we lost contact during that phase, and so I told her, I was like, I'm so glad that you reached out. Like, how are you? She is currently in her final year of med school. She graduates next year, which is amazing. Like, I am so proud of her. She has wanted to do that since we were in high school, probably before then, as well. And it is just so cool to like see people that you care about and people that you want the best for, to like see them actually accomplishing things and like reaching their goals. It's, I don't know. That's such a good feeling. Like, at least one of us made it. The plan was that we were both going to be in med school by this point, but clearly one of us didn't follow through. So, we were talking about that, and, it was just so great to catch up with her. We're going to have to make plans to meet up at some point because she's back in the state. She went out of state for college for her undergrad. But she's back. She's doing her medical school stuff here in Oklahoma. And yeah, I'm so glad that as you get older, sometimes people are willing to look past your poor behavior and poor treatment of everybody around you, and still want to talk to you and still want to be friends. That's such a nice feeling. Yeah, it was really great. It was kind of funny. She asked me about, she said, there was something that made me think of you, that made me like want to reach out. And she said, do you remember so-and-so from high school? We'll call him Peter. So she asked me, she said, do you remember Peter from high school? He's in med school too. He's in the class below me, and we live in the same building. And I actually saw him in the gym at the building that we live at, the other day, and it made me think of you. And I'm sitting there like, do I remember Peter? Yes, I sure do. Peter was the guy that I had a crush on all 4 years of high school. And it was like a problem. It was a problem big time because I had very limited social skills at that point in my life. And I did not know how to have a crush without being creepy and obsessive. So I have a lot of stories about this particular phase of my life, and we might get to them one day. Not today. But long story short, yes, I do remember Peter. I've tried my hardest to forget about Peter, and she wouldn't know that because, again, we lost touch years ago. But I just thought it was funny because I have finally kind of moved past that. I would hope so. It's been literally like 4, 5, maybe 6 years since it's been like an actual problem. But boy, the rush of memories that brought back when she asked me if I remembered him. Yes, I do. Unfortunately. But good for him also being in med school. Good for them. You know what? Good for them. Which brings me to the prospects part of the podcast. Where are my prospects at this week? Well, I still haven't applied for grad school. Still haven't even asked for information about it. Have been doing more thinking about it though. How long can I think about it before I actually do something? Stay tuned. We'll find out. I feel like I am a little bit more motivated just seeing and like hearing about these people from high school who are like graduating in the next few weeks with like their professional, masters or doctorates or whatever they're working on. And I'm like, why can't that be me? Because I won't inquire or apply. That's why. So, I do again feel like we're getting closer. We're inching our way there. Maybe that can be a goal for my next week, is to just ask about the program and like get some information. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the week. The only other thing I can really think of that was like kind of big this week is I got a lot of makeup stuff. I'm not super into wearing makeup all the time. I used to be really, really good at it. And used to do all these crazy eyeshadow looks, and I had like lipstick and mascara and my eyebrows done every day. And at this point in my life, like COVID really killed it. Once we started working from home and I didn't have to go into the office every day, I stopped. Because I love putting makeup on. I hate taking it off. And like, if I'm not seeing people face to face, why do I need it? Like, I know what I look like without it. So I kind of lost all of my, desire to do my makeup all the time. But this week I did get quite a bit of makeup stuff. Some of it was on purpose. Some of it I didn't know I was doing, an impulse bought. I got some sunscreen and some skincare products from Sephora because for my birthday month, like I wanted to get my birthday gift. And turns out I did not want to pay shipping for a free gift, so I just added some more stuff to my cart. I got the One Size Sweatproof Primer from One Size. It's like, I think it's Patrick Starr's brand. I could be saying that completely wrong. I don't really know. I like recognize the name, but like I can't recall it apparently. And yeah, some sunscreen, some skincare stuff. And then I impulse bought some liquid liners, some like water activated liquid eyeliners and brushes from Glissed Cosmetics. They have not come in yet. Very excited for them too. I was laughing at myself when I ordered them because I don't know who's behind it. I don't know who runs the business. They have so many bright, beautiful colors and like glitters and like all of these different things. And I looked at my cart and I had 4 shades of brown, a black, a white, and then 2 coppery bronze shades. Okay, basic. So I got those, and then was like, how is there a way to make water activated liquid liner waterproof? So I did a quick Google, found out about Duraline by Inglot. And I've heard of Inglot before. I know that they have a liner that a lot of people really like an eyeliner. But I had never ordered anything from them, so I ordered this Duraline. And then as I was kind of like reading more about it, it said something about, you can turn any pigment into a waterproof liner. And it just kind of hit me. I was like, I have like 50 billion eyeshadow palettes from my like makeup obsession days. And with this product, I can make pretty much any color of eyeliner I want. So I'm excited to play around with that. I just got the Duraline today. It got delivered, so I haven't really done anything with it, but like I am excited to play with that. We'll see. Maybe I'll start showing up to these episodes with some crazy graphic liner. Monday I go to the optometrist. We're going to find out how bad my eyes have gotten and hopefully get some new glasses. So that's pretty neat. Oh, I wasn't done talking about makeup. The surprise element to the makeup part is I went to Walmart to go grocery shopping, and they have like their little like wannabe Bullseye's Playground $1 to $5 section at the front of the store at the Walmart that I go to in my town. And I'm like, perusing through there. I never need anything from that section, but I like to look. I just want to see what's available. And as I'm going through, I look down and I see this eyeshadow palette with a clearance sticker on it. And it's the palette from the Wet n Wild Sesame Street collaboration. And I was like, it's on clearance. Because when it first came out back in like January or December or whenever that was, I spent so long. Wet n Wild consistently kills it with their collabs. Like I have, literally just right over here. They did the Saved by the Bell collection at one point, and I saved the little container that the little brush set came in because I think it's so cute. I plan on painting it one of these days. It just kind of went into the pile of all of my other art projects that I haven't done yet, but they're consistently killing it with all of their collabs. I know they had a Charlie Brown one right around Christmas time. I think I got like a Snoopy lip gloss or something. But they did the Sesame Street collaboration. What I really wanted from that collection was there was a beauty blender holder that looked like Oscar's trash can. I'll have to put a picture up because it was so cute and I really wanted it. But I didn't want to spend, I think it was like $15 or something, or $20. I was not about to spend that. So when I see this eyeshadow palette on clearance, I am immediately like, oh my God, what if they have some of the trash cans on clearance? So I zoom over to the clearance section and I found quite a bit of the collection. Unfortunately, none of Oscar's trash cans were over there. They did like have an Elmo brush holder. Didn't really like it. Didn't think that was good enough to get. But I did get a lot of other stuff. So I did not end up picking up the palette. I just feel like the colors were not things that I would use often enough to like justify buying the palette even on clearance. But I did get the Elmo lipstick. It's like this pretty like it's got red and glitter. It looks really, really red in the packaging, but when you put it on, it's like a lot more sheer than I thought it was going to be. So it's like almost coral. I don't generally think that I look good in red lipsticks, but like this one actually is kind of flattering. Makes my teeth look super yellow, but it's whatever. It's a red lipstick. I feel like even the blue tone ones make my teeth look yellow. Secondly, in things that I don't know when I'm going to use, I got this Abby Cadabby Zippy Zap face glitter. I actually might try to find a way to incorporate this into this costume for Ren Faire. I feel like Ren Faire is a big event to wear glitter to. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll have some pictures next week. I got the Let's Play Together Bert and Ernie bronzer and highlight palette. Very excited about this. I'm a sucker for a little gold highlight. I don't use a ton of bronzer, but I did swatch these out, and they're like light enough and they blend out well enough that I feel like they'll maybe work okay on my like super pale skin. I also had the thought that like this is a really nice palette if I wanted to do just like a simple eyeshadow, and have like, you know, lid crease, like glitter moment. So I got that. I got this set of Cookie Monster crayons, essentially. There's like a gold one, a bronze one, and this bright blue one. Again, I don't know when I'm going to use this, but like Cookie Monster, these two are really pretty. They're like kind of shimmery. Very excited. Not exactly sure what you're supposed to use these for. It's a multi-stick, so I think you can use it for like shadow or liner or just, you know, whatever you want. So we'll have to play around, see what we like there. I got, it just keeps going, ladies and gentlemen. I got the brush set from this collab. I do feel like one thing I consistently will get from Wet n Wild collabs is the brush sets. I just think they're fun. It's usually just a couple of brushes, so like it's not that bad. We've got a Big Bird one, a Cookie Monster, an Oscar the Grouch, which I am excited. I did get something with him from the collection. Oscar the Grouch, and then an Elmo. And then finally, to top it all off, I did go ahead and get the makeup case for it. Super cute, really big. Love how big it is. It's gonna be great. I've been storing all of the stuff in there, so it works. It holds everything with plenty of room. I think that is the other thing I usually get from these Wet n Wild collabs is the makeup like pouch things. I don't know that I got the Saved by the Bell one. I did get the Snoopy one from the Charlie Brown winter release, so might be my new thing. It's just collecting the makeup cases. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I went a little wild, so hopefully I can get back into playing with makeup and I don't know, rediscover that passion that I had for it at one point in time. We'll see. Stay tuned. Song of the week. The song that I've been really obsessed with this week has been Soldier Poet King by the Oh Hellos. It gives off Ren Faire. Again, it's another song I discovered from TikTok. I'm gonna have to start including a counter of the number of songs that I'm just pulling from TikTok, but like it really is like a fun little Ren Faire vibe song. So like this week, as I've been preparing costume elements, as I've been getting ready to go to Ren Faire, it's just kind of been on loop, and it's a great song. You should check it out. Other than that, I think we've covered all the bases. I can't think of anything else really that happened that was big or important this week. So thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next week on No Money, No Prospects, the podcast where I have no clue what I'm saying at all, period. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next week.